What would you discover if you followed a group of tax consultants around for 2 years? Well, the most interesting discovery is that essentially the building block of the entire system, the quest for billable hours, is undermining everything. That's the view of Andre Spicer, who's been looking at this for Cass Business School. Andre, let's just start with the junior staff, because that was where you felt the impact was most keenly felt.
When you come into a firm as a junior staff member, you're given a lot of marketing hype. You know, you're showing people holding surfboards, having fun, engaging in community projects. Now, when you get to work, you quickly realise this isn't the case. You know, you're not there for self-development. You're not even there often for the development of the firm. You're there for one thing and one thing only, which is building up billable hours. Now, the way in which you do that, you quickly have to learn that, because this is how you get ahead. Now, the way in which you do that as a junior consultant is you have to build networks with people who bring in the billable hours, which is the partners. That's number one. The second thing is that you have to show that you're trustworthy in actually executing things on time and on budget, which often means, and here's the catch if you're a junior consultant, it means that you're working often overtime on things. It means that you're doing billable hours of, say, 3 billable hours, but often it takes 6, and you know that. Okay. The result is that what often is a 40-hour week turns into a 60, 70, 80-hour week just doing your billable hours. But on top of that, you often have to spend a lot of time then doing informal social networking outside of work.
Goodness, so in at 8, home at midnight.
Yes.
And also another effect of this is that the decisions of the leadership of these companies tends to be very short-term.
That's right. What we often find is that the leaders of the firm are not the people who come up with longer-term strategic direction, not the people who are kind of looking to develop new business lines. Often the leadership within these firms tends to focus on one thing and one thing only, which is bringing in as many billable hours as possible. So what we find is that the people who are most respected in these firms focus on bringing in billable hours. So if you want to remain one of the central people in a large professional services firm, you don't think long term, you tend to focus on bringing in as many billable hours as possible in the short term and making sure that those are worked.
And then possibly the most controversial of your findings, you think that some of the clients of these companies are actually being shortchanged.
Yes, what we found is that there's a very, very loose relationship between the actual hours which are worked and the hours which are reported. Now, the employees who are actually doing these hours, they have to report their time in 6-minute slots. So every 6 minutes they have to say, I've done this, I've done that. Now clearly, all of us when you're working on a task can't break your day up into 6-minute slots. So you have to, there's some room to sort of fiddle things around. And everyone who knows, who's working on a particular project, knows which clients are billing sensitive and which clients are billing unsensitive. And what they'll tend to do is to load up the billing unsensitive clients with the hours which they can charge, and the billing unsensitive clients, they tend to downplay the number of hours which they get charged.
Andre Spicer, thank you very much.
Thank you.